Have you been thinking about moving into a continuing care retirement community, also known as a CCRC? I'd like to recommend my previous video on the pros and cons of continuing care retirement communities because there's quite a few different types. I'll list it in the Show More description below. I recently moved to a Type A CCRC, and I'd like to give you 18 reasons why I think it's a good idea. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Sandy from Sandy Over 70. Thanks for watching. I hope if you're new that you'll consider subscribing and click the notification button. I'm 74 now, but 13 years ago, I visited several of these CCRCs, and it occurred to me that I'd better start planning now. Now, I know most people don't start planning that early, and actually that's a mistake, but the reason it was important to me was because I don't have any children, and my two sisters are 20 years older than me, so there was going to be a fairly good chance that I'll be alone at the end of my life. And that was a scary thought. So I seriously considered where I wanted to spend the final years of my retirement life. And at that time, I put down a deposit on a retirement community where I am now living. And I'll tell you later why this was probably one of the best moves I ever made in my entire life. But right now, let me give you 18 reasons why I think moving to one of these communities is a great idea. These are not in any special order. But number one is it protects your assets. Yes, you do have to give them a substantial amount of money when you buy in. In the community I'm in, my monthly fee will stay the same no matter what level of care I may need in the future, whether it be assisted living, skilled living, or memory care. And the same for my husband. Now, if one of us has to move to a different level of care, the other one can stay in our home without any additional monthly fees except for the cost of 2 additional meals in the higher level facility. Number 2, now I mentioned that I have no children or siblings my age, but even if you do, you may not want to burden your children later on in life with all of the necessary complications of moving you from your home into a higher level of care. This eliminates that because I'm already here, and whatever care I need in the future is available to me here. Even though I have a single family house, it's actually attached at the garage. I at any time can move to a different level of care if I need it for medical or financial reasons. I know aging in place is a very popular concept today, and in actuality, that's exactly what I plan to do. I am in my own home, and I plan to age here. And even if I have to move to a different apartment or assisted living unit, I'm still in the same community with the same people around me. So I consider that aging in place. Number 4, so many people I hear say that they would be interested in such a community later on in life when they need it. But when they need it may be too late. You have to be relatively healthy to move into one of these communities. That is, you have to be able to take care of your daily activities of living yourself. Having to scramble around at the last minute because you can no longer adequately care for yourself, or worse still, have your children scrambling around trying to find a facility that they like, that you like, and that will serve you well, is not ideal. Number 5, peace of mind. When I signed that paper with the final deposit and knew that I was actually moving in here, I'll tell you, it felt like a weight was off my shoulders. I no longer will have to worry about what's going to happen to me or my husband. It's a great feeling. Number 6, better nutrition. Now, this I did not expect. Now, I am a fairly good cook, but it's not my greatest joy in life to be cooking. So now that I get one meal a day here, I started eating better. I stopped snacking and I started eating more vegetables and dishes that I've never tried before. And there is also a huge salad bar. So if there's a vegetable I don't like, I make a salad. In fact, I make a wonderful salad almost every day, and that salad bar is huge. So there's plenty of things to choose from. But I had heard that you tend to gain weight when you first move in, and I could understand why. The dessert corner is very appealing and lethal to the waistline. But the amazing thing was that I actually lost a few pounds after I moved in because my nutrition improved. Surprise to me too. Number 7, activities. I think one of the reasons people move to these type of communities are for the activities, and they are endless. Currently, I'm in a readers theater group. I take ballroom dance lessons every Friday, and they're now going to offer tap dancing, which I used to do as a child. So I'm very interested in using that as my exercise. I take daily walks. There's interesting lectures, endless exercise classes, both in the water and in the aerobic studio. Well, I could go on and on, but certainly there's no lack of things to do here. Number 8, exercise. There are all levels of exercise here. I'm going to start with some of the easier classes and work my way up. The first class that I've attempted is called Fall Prevention and Balance. So after that, I'm going to try a chair yoga, and hopefully I'll move into some more challenging classes. There are also many classes in the pool, and later on I intend to try some of those. Maintaining a home. I no longer have to worry anything about maintaining this house. It is all done for me. The landscaping, the lawn, and anything that goes wrong inside the house, I merely go to my computer, fill out a work order, and my maintenance man comes over and fixes it. The towel rack fell down. He came and fixed it. A part of the blinds fell down. He came over and fixed it. We needed help hanging a really heavy piece of metal art. 2 men came and helped us hang it. It's just wonderful. And besides that, there's no bills for electric and gas and garbage pickup and things like that. Number 10, housekeeping. We have a housekeeper come every week. I think that's pretty amazing. And that is included in the monthly fee. She does the floors, she does the bathrooms, she does the kitchen, she does dusting. I don't have to lift a finger. Number 11, landscaping and gardening. Although I mentioned that the mowing and the landscaping is included, in one of these villas or cottages as they're called, there's plenty of room to put in any kind of garden that you might want. And for people who don't live in the houses but live in the apartments, there are gardens available in the gardening area, the raised elevated gardens that you can reserve. Number 12, less monthly bills. As I said before, there's no electric bill, there's no gas bill, there's no trash bill, none of those things. The only thing that I pay for is my cell phone, my cable, and telephone, which I've decided not to have a landline, just to use my cell phone. So that's it. Number 13, as I mentioned before, the monthly fees remain relatively stable. Whatever we're paying now, we'll pay every year, every month. Number 14, safety. Each of the 2 bathrooms have pull cords so that even if you fall on the floor, you can reach that pull cord by crawling, because it is very close to the floor and you can pull on it. This is a great feature because people are known to fall in the bathroom all the time, and sometimes they lay there for hours or days. So this is a very comforting feature. Number 15, personal medical alert devices. Each of us is issued one of these devices, which can be worn around the neck or clipped onto a belt. Now, I will say that most of the people in independent living are probably not wearing it, but I certainly keep mine right at my bedside. And what happens is, if you press it, it alerts security and a nurse over in the medical facility. And we are told that they will respond in less than 15 minutes. Now, I will tell you that the first night I moved in here, I must have accidentally hit it, because ding dong, there was a security guard at the door asking if we needed help. And so after that, I kept it in a place where I wouldn't accidentally push the button. But it shows you that it does work. And this also is a very great feature, because if you pay for this separately and you live alone, there is a monthly fee, but for us it's included. Number 16, security. There's only one entrance in and out of our community, and there are over 600 residents living here. We have roving security guards, and they are everywhere. I mean, I know there's not that many of them, but because the community isn't that big, it seems like they're driving by constantly. Even when I walk the dog late at night, a security guard will be driving by. So that also is an excellent feature. Number 17, city life. Now, most of these communities are built in cities so that there's things for people to do. And we had moved from a very small town to a much larger town where there really are endless things to do here. And even though we're inside of our secure community, when we go outside of it into the city, there's endless cultural and retail stores that I didn't have before. So I'm loving that. Number 18 is OnSite Healthcare. We actually have a clinic here staffed by family practice physicians. We're not obligated to join it. If we have our own personal physician, we can keep him or her. But I'm going to probably be joining it because there's a clinic right on site where you can get your appointments for your yearly physical or any problems that develop during the year. And supposedly you can get a relatively quick appointment. And I think that's a really excellent feature. Now, I've just given you 18 positive reasons to move to a CCRC, but of course, there are a few negative things that I really need to tell you about. One thing that I often hear from my friends is that they don't want to tie up their money in the entrance fee. They'd like to keep their money in their financial institution so that their children can inherit it. And that's very legitimate, but it's possible that all that money could get used up if they are ever admitted to a higher level of care. Nursing homes and even assisted living fees are up in the $8,000 to $10,000 a month area. So, you have to think about how long will your money last if you're living in your own home and then have to be transferred to a medical facility. So I feel comfortable, very comfortable, in knowing that I've more or less prepaid for any health care I need. Now, another thing that people point out to me is that, yes, you can move in here, give them the money, and 6 months later pass away. Yes, that is a possibility. It is a risk, and you have to consider that when you're making your decision. Most people live quite long here because they're well cared for. We have spiritual activities, all kinds of exercise, physical activities to keep the mind strong, and good nutrition. And most of the people that I meet here have been here for many, many years, but it is definitely something to consider. Now, this is the most important thing I have to tell you. If you're thinking about signing up at a continuing care facility when you need it, it's not going to happen. The waiting lists at these places are years long. They are very popular with the baby boomer generation, and you can't just get in. You need to make that initial reservation, which is usually for $1,000 for a couple, as soon as the thought passes through your mind. I made my reservation 13 years ago, and thank goodness I did, because when I decided I was ready to move in here, it still took 5 months to be offered one of the 11 floor plans that I was interested in. And really, you cannot wait if this is something you think that you want to do. Put that deposit down. Many places will give you a 50% refund, but even if they don't, this is a very important decision to make, and it is worth every penny to get on that list. So if you're in your 60s, don't wait. If this is something you think that you would like to do, get on a waiting list. It can take, I'm now told here, 6 to 8 years to get one of the cottages or villas, maybe a little less to get into one of the apartments, but there is a many-year wait. I can't stress this anymore. It's very important. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment box below. And I'd be interested to hear from people who are already in CCRCs or thinking about moving to one. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and have a great day.